With the super chat, shout out to 007. He says, Irv was on point in regards to Drake. We need a new DMX. What Drake can do is dangerous regarding shifting music and what's deemed hip hop machine wise. You want to get into that?
Is that where we're going, man?
Are we going there first?
No, I mean, since we're doing all the big sellers, let's go ahead and run down the big sellers list. We got Eminem done. Let's go ahead and cover Drake.
Okay. Well,
First of all, this album. Hold on. First of all, this album is terrible, and I'm sick of women. Sick of women telling me, "Well, Coop, you're a man."
You need to put on your sensitive side to listen to this Drake album. That's what they're telling.
I'm very emotional to hear people tell it. All right.
Look, all right. So I think this whole conversation started on Joe Budden's podcast. He had Vince Staples on the phone or whatnot, and I pulled this article from Hip-Hop DX. They were covering it, and so basically, they're saying Drake's house-leaning, honestly, Nevermind album sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community. Not really, but whatever. Which has resulted in all kinds of controversial takes. Vince Staples and Joe Budden are two people that don't mince words. On their Long Beach native, the Long Beach native joined the latest episode of the Joe Budden podcast for an interesting discussion surrounding the Six Guys' latest offering. Said, do you think Drake putting out a dance album gets us closer to eliminating rap music as a whole? Budden asked. Staples quickly brought up his 2017 Big Fish theory and how the experimental project received tons of backlash from fans. However, he does feel that the internet takes over the customer's experiences are similar, and it has broken down the regional barriers of music, of course. And then he says, music has always been very visual, Staples responds. When I think about artists visually, things pop up. Michael Jackson's The Moonwalk. Tupac, it's a lot of enthusiastic things, excuse me. Of course, it's the music, but things were visual for people. When you think about where music is headed, everyone on Instagram and everyone looks the same, moves the same, dressed the same, and talks the same. The genre shit is gonna have to go out the window eventually. It's too hard to separate the culture because the internet has to kind of push on everything has to push everything into the same little bubble. Let me get to the super chat from Blue Collar Hustler, and then I'm gonna let you go. Blue Collar Hustler says, Coop and Mike, please check out the new EP of Nas Bridge podcast. He spoke to RZA. It was great. RZA said that Jizza and Ray fought over who got a Nas verse. I bet that is dope. We're gonna check that out. We got to talk about the bridge. I still haven't really seen the bridge like that.
Me either.
It's shameful on my part.
You want me to go to that right quick? You want me to go to the super chat, or you want me to go to the Drake issue?
Go to the Drake thing and this whole thing about rap music being eliminated because Drake puts out an album.
Okay. This is where people come up with conspiracy theories about media propaganda. He don't run it like that. He hasn't made anything dope in hip-hop terms in a very long time.
Facts.
So the fact that you are posing this question is speaking to the machine possibly running this, which is what people have a problem with. And for somebody like Joe Budden, who I think, Mike, we both find him to be a credible MC and journalist, correct?
Yes, definitely.
He's a credible MC and journalist. How many people do we say that about? Nobody. Right.
Yeah.
So when he is forging that question, it makes me question everything too, because it's like, because of the person whose integrity I trust.
Not to mention, this is a person who threw out like 3 diss records at Drake before he retired.
This too is true. I wasn't even trying to, we don't even have to veer into that spectrum of it. We can keep it on his media personality interviewer.
Right. I'm just saying he doesn't have ties to the guy like that, so it almost makes you feel like, damn, where is this really coming from?
Well, I mean, no, just because, look at the Migos situation that happened. That's what I mean. You know, like, he has done stuff like that. He is kind of like true to his form, sometimes for better, for worse. Like he's had run-ins with Migos. He's had run-ins with Raekwon. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
He's always kind of spoke his truth, whether he's been right or wrong. Where's the truth? You know,
And that's what I love about Joe Budden.
Where's the evidence that this question should even be asked is what I'm going to ask right back. You know, it's like when you put something, like I keep saying the thing about the evidence because all jokes aside, it's like, if you take something to a court of law, Mike,
yeah,
in order to win a case, in order for your opinion to become fact and get documented, you have to supply evidence, not opinions, not emotions, not thoughts, facts.
You're right. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, we're not going to put this on the internet. We're not going to put this on, you know, I guess, rap music being confined. The music just isn't it. We didn't say this about Andre when he made The Love Below. We wanted to hear Andre rap, but when we didn't, it was like, you know what? We got a great album. Same thing with Lauryn Hill. Now, if we got an album that was miseducation quality and people were coming up with these notions, understood. But this ain't moving nothing. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I mean about credibility and integrity, like in the quality of the product and the work. And, you know, we have espoused many thoughts about Andre 3000 on here. I'm going to tell you something that stands out in my mind, and this is what I mean. I remember Mary J. Blige being on 106 in Park, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And literally talking about The Love Below and saying, like, Andre, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? That's a cosign when you were stepping outside of your realm. When Mary J. Blige goes on live television and feels compelled to talk about you and your album randomly, ain't nobody.
It's great songwriting. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, right. No one is saying that about this record.
Nobody's doing that. Like Mary J. Blige isn't running up this strip. No, nobody of that stature, that quality. You get what I'm saying? That exists in that realm. Like, that's Mary in her prime, at the peak of her power, saying, like, oh, this brother's doing something special in my realm right now.
Let's get some thumbs up in the chat because I want to get more and more people in here. And if we got some Drake fans that might want to come up in here and plead their case, I'm down with that too. Rodriguez says this album is for men who close the fridge with their hips. Okay.
That's
okay. Listen. And again,
What about if you like karate kick the door closed sometimes, like I do, like old school Bruce Lee stuff? I still.
That's a Wu-Tang close, right?
I still do that.
This is what I want to say. Number one, man, there's not going to be one person that's going to eliminate rap music. And, you know, and the fact that they're putting that onus on an individual like he has the ability to do that is dangerous. It's dangerous. And, you know, but what they're doing, and the worst part about it, Coop, they're using this as a cover for the fact that he just dropped an album that isn't well received. Go ahead.
I think we might be splitting hairs. You tell me what's worse. Where it's coming from, like the integrity of somebody who we trust as an MC and a credible interviewer and host, or the actual issue itself, because this is a business of credibility. Is it not? Like, your cred matters up in here still.
It is.
And part of where Buck is where he is as a host and an interviewer and a podcaster is what? Credibility is what? MC, and the credibility built through the show. And you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you tell me what's worse, actually.
Because I don't even think that's a topic. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact that we're having to even cover this and clear this up, I think is shameful. Because there are people out there who are going to run with the narrative that Drake can possibly end rap with an album or something. Like, what? Nobody can do that. And not to mention, there's a lot of rapping going on out here, by the way. A lot of great rapping going on out here right now. 007 with the Super Chat says, Drake won't be missed. When it's all said and done, his music is replaceable. In my opinion, he never was a top tier creator. He always involved his music. He was always involved with music. There's a difference. Ghostwriters provide gray area. Well, I think, was it you and I that were talking about this, Cooper? I was talking to somebody about this. Drake's music is timely. I might have been talking to 007 about this. Like, when you listen to Drake's songs...
we were all on a chat together. which
I
is
think
where
that's what it was.
we're in the chat together. Yeah.
Drake's music, it fits a time period. You're not gonna go back and listen to it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's listening to Started from the Bottom in 2022. No, I know who I was talking to about this. A DJ I know. And we were talking about, this Drake record, and he spins, and he was saying that Drake makes music for the time period. And he said some people go up to his DJ booth, request Drake when it's hot, but after that time period's over, the record's over. He doesn't make timeless music, according to the DJ that I was speaking to.
We're going to unpack a few things because those are some of my thoughts when we're going to get into some of our album review in a little bit. But hold on, because that's crazy. I had a conversation online with one of my dear friends who is a DJ who also spins as well. Shout out to my boy Big H and Amped Up Entertainment down here in Atlanta. We got to get Amped Up Entertainment
in the room, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm listening to you.
No. Amped Up Entertainment. Like, there's some heads. Some of my Black Star thoughts came from the back and forth I had with Holland. Holland is a head amongst heads. Like, you know what I'm saying? Black Thought is probably his all-time favorite MC.
Mm-hmm.
So he's that kind of head. You know what I'm saying? And me and him we had a talk online, actually on Facebook Messenger of all places, about a myriad of things, but he espoused some things as well about Drake, and just kind of like, he slid it to the side so quick. When you know somebody like the way that I know him and know his musical ear, even when Holland doesn't like something, he will explain to you why. Right. He was pretty much like, that's not it, and next. and keep in mind, and listen to what I'm about to say, and I say this respectfully. First of all, you want to know what? I missed something, and we're going to cover this right quick.
Okay.
Anybody that watches this show that thinks Mike is the racist person between the two of us is an idiot. Right? Like, you are stupid, and you are not paying attention at all. But
they just say that stuff, man. They don't mean it. They don't have a real comeback, so yeah.
Holland also happens to be white and spins jungle, house, dance, hip hop. Like, he can spin it all. He has music primers that I will put on any top level party club DJ. Like, he's like that, and he's right down here. And so for him to have that feel about the Drake album, like I watch him take a lot of stuff and get jiggy with it. Mike, you feel me? I watch him take a lot of stuff and get busy. I've watched him take a lot of stuff in the last 15 years and get busy. And the fact that him, as a DJ and the head that he is, and I know his affinity for being able to bleed, dance, and jungle, and ska, and all of that in the hip-hop, for him to just be like, no, very problematic. Very problematic. Because Holland's the type of DJ that, if nothing else, Drake should want him to put that on the cutting room floor and freak it and remix it for the crowd. And I don't even think he's going to do that, but we'll see.
I want to get to the super chat. I think this is an interesting super chat. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the spam out of the room. Swain says, the story of hip-hop can be told without mentioning Drake's contributions. I can agree with that. Because you know what? And I think the reason why people may feel that way is because when you ride waves like that and you don't have anything definitive, I guess, you know what, maybe that airy type of sound that really involves more so singing than rapping, maybe that's his contribution. But I don't know how well that stuff's going to play 10, 15 years from now, right? What I was going to get into, though, I was going to get into the notion that it's one thing, and your guy who's a DJ, it would be one thing if Drake was out here experimenting and doing some things that, haven't been traveled upon, or going on some roads that haven't been traveled upon, But the thing is, you're taking from a DC scene, correct me if I'm wrong out there in the chat, a DC scene and a DC sound, and you're not even doing it the best. You know what I'm saying? And I think we're seeing that right now. I think we're seeing that right now with Beyonce's song too, where it's like, okay, you're taking something that people are doing and have been doing, and you're not even doing nothing really new to it. So,
what do you mean?
I'm talking about the whole vibe of this album. It's coming from.
You mean it's deep? You feel it's go-go-ish?
Well, it's,
or just dance hall-ish?
Yeah, some of the artists in DC, I believe. I should have had their names in my notes. They have been very vocal about the fact that their vocals have been taken for this album, and Drake's used their vocal without their credit, and kind of taking their sound and taking their scene. You know what I'm saying? And
I mean,
again,
he does that with a lot of people,
of
though.
course he does. He's done that with Houston. He's done that with
He did that with Houston
Memphis.
first.
Excuse
He's
me.
done that with Houston, Atlanta,
Memphis, and now DC. So, this is nothing new, but I think that's one of the reasons why, like someone said, that the story of hip hop can be told without, mentioning his contributions. Now, granted, I think his contributions are huge, but I don't think if let's just say hypothetically, he just say, you know what, I'm going to hang it up. It's not going to be a big hole left in the game. LP with the super chat says, in the Coop, hating on M like Mike game. Hold up, is that a line? No, it sounds like it's some quotes. All right, Mad Max says, laugh my ass off. The Drake album is trash, but people ain't have this energy when Tyler was putting out albums like House Music about the. You know what? That's very, very, very good observation. I didn't even think about Tyler. Tyler's been doing experimental stuff like this, and I know Igor might not be
better.
Yeah, exactly.
But hold on. This is what I mean. But he's an experimental artist, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a risk taker and a chance taker.
Because he can do those things well.
I've never seen an artist of his ilk and his caliber even have the thought process to want to do something like call DJ Drama. Like, will you host my album?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He's a risk taker like that.
And I think even what Logic just did this past week, I think that's a direct reaction and reflection of what Tyler did.
How you feel about the Logic? Do you think it's Logic's best project?
That I've heard.
So did I. My man Holland didn't feel the same way.
Really?
We had a whole talk. Yeah, we
under
had
pressure. He got under pressure over it.
Huh?
He got under pressure over that, or
you know what? I'm gonna have to go back to the chat. When we get it in, we can get it in hard. You know how the head talk go. KC1
with the super chat says Jay-Z and Drake are the biggest wave riders in hip hop. But see, the difference between those two things is the fact that Jay-Z got bars. And I think even with the fact that Jay might take a line or two, take a style or two or whatever, I think from a skill set proponent, we know that Jay-Z is a top 5 talent.
Well, here's how you should look at that if you feel that way. No, if you feel that way about Jay, here's how you should look at it. Kobe took about 80% of Mike's portfolio, okay? But he actually had the ability to take the portfolio and execute. You get what I'm saying?
It's incredible because, the whole thing is, man, everybody wanted to play like Michael Jordan. And right. I'm pretty sure
how many people have actually been able to? Because I've only seen one. Right, I've seen one guy that can actually play like Mike.
Right. I agree. I mean, all of us grew up watching Michael Jordan. I'm sure everybody was 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". They were trying to pattern their game after Michael Jordan. And there was only one guy that could actually successfully pull it off.
Correct. So it's like one of those things. Okay, so Mike, like you posted that video of me. It's like, oh, Coop, like you're using literary devices. It's like, well, no shit. I'm a writer. I'm a rap artist. Like first, and then a writer before. You get what I'm saying? And right. So it's like, no, that's Jay. You know what I'm saying?
No,
dude?
Definitely.
That's Jay.
But you know what? I was talking to somebody about Jay too, and we kind of came to the conclusion that everything after Reasonable Doubt, you could tell that Life After Death was very, very. He draws a lot of inspiration from Life After Death. You could even look at UGK with the whole, collaborating with them with Big Pimpin'. That mindset probably was like, well, shit, Big did a song with Bone. You know what I mean? Like, everything that Jay attempted, you could kind of trace back to Life After Death.
It stayed with him.
Yeah. The versatility. The versatility, because I think that's the thing that we really hold Jay high for, especially in the era that he did it with so many different sounds, so many different producers. He was able to make street records, radio records. That's Life After Death.
Okay, so let's have this conversation right quick, and I'm not saying this in a slight. That's always my thing about the gap in the role that he filled. Well, it's like, can he do a lot of what Big did? Well, of course, that's obvious. But now you start parsing it out, and it's like, well, it goes to that Kobe and Mike thing. It's like, well, that's Biggie's supposed to be the greatest MC of all time. The only reason he's not the greatest MC of all time is because of the catalog brevity. Okay? Not for catalog brevity, he is the greatest MC of all time. Comparing Jay to him is like comparing Mike to Kobe. It's like, oh, is it top 10 player, maybe top 5 player? Oh, hell yeah. Do you know who that other guy is? You feel what I'm saying? And so never really fair to Jay in that regard. Truthfully, if we really want to be honest about it, never really fair to Jay in that regard.
And that's what Kobe would say too.
Like, you know, my mind really is like a steel trap, Mike. I can remember them interviewing Jay early on, like after Biggie died. And some of those early interviews, like he talked in the interview one time about one of the recording sessions of Life After Death, but he didn't talk about the session. He talked about hanging out with Big at a bar late night. And, you know, Jay don't smoke weed. And Big got him high. And he got high, and Big was like fucking with him, like, I got you, nigga. Like, he remembers, you know? Yeah. I remember him telling that story, and I'm like, oh, that's why when you said it stuck with him, it's like, oh no, everything about that stuck with him because his recountance of it early on spoke to a man. He wasn't even thinking about the music. He's recalling those conversations with his friend, and his friend knows that he doesn't smoke weed because he's paranoid about the life that he used to live. But Big is so charismatic and gets you so comfortable. And here's how charismatic Big is. He can get Jay-Z high.
Let me get to these super chats, and I want to piggyback off of that. Mad Max says, LOL, you have to speak on Drake and hip-hop. You got to stop Drake. Just a simp. Just a simp male version of Lauryn Hill. And yeah, ain't let her go. Let's see. Let me get to I know we missed a whole lot. LP says, did y'all talk about the game dropping ass name yet? No, we ain't talked about the game yet. We're gonna get into violence. We're gonna get into that record. Let's see. Got another one. Free says Drake changed the sound of hip hop. Every poppin' young rapper sings, and not because of Kanye or Wayne. The question is, will there be a non-singing rap star ever?
Hold on. That's where you're wrong. No. He's very, very wrong.
Swain says, Ja Rule got clowned for his music, but at least he stayed within the confines of hip-hop and he rapped on his album. Drake is straight singing, period. Not singing well either, by the way. I think that's a big part of it, too. KD says, you know I love y'all content, but you guys are being a little too unfair with the Drake breakdown. A lot of it is coming off of blind hate.
No. We have evidence. We have about 8 years of bad album evidence going
on. We'll go back to that real quick. I do want to piggyback on what you said about Biggie and Jay. I think that is a perfect comparison when you talk about Kobe and Mike. Because Kobe had to have, I can't believe Kobe Bryant's no longer with us, incredible muscle memory to go out there and pattern his game after somebody, just move for move. Like, it's incredible. And that speaks to the memory that Jay has, probably the best memory in hip-hop, probably the best memory in music.
Yes, he might have the best. Hold on. I think he and Frank Sinatra might have the best music memory in history from all the things that I've read and heard as far as artists are concerned. Jay and Frank Sinatra.
Said a man, I think it was Skills that was telling this story about how Jay went into the studio. I think Timbaland was out somewhere or whatever. Jay went in there, 15 minutes, hearing the beat, and just put down Lobster and Shrimp like that.
Yes.
And like, these ain't garbage records. Like, you listen to these records, you're like, he went in there in 10, 15 minutes and knocked this out? It's incredible.
So understand what Jay did was that, and this is what I mean, he upped the performance level of things in the studio. Mm-hmm. Like, I never, and this is what I say, and I'm going to say this carefully, this is not a comparison. I never felt, there's not been a moment in his career where I ever felt like he was lyrically the best. But if you want to talk about somebody getting in and getting out, quality-wise,
I don't think we had ever seen anything like that.
Because here's the thing. Big and Pac are gone. Oh, well, your greatest competition, and I say this as a writer respectfully, oh, Nas will write a song 2 or 3 times. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you might be there for 3 or 4 hours just because that guy might want to write the song 3 or 4 times and be like, hold on, piece it together like that. Or let's do that. Or
Well, that's why he was one take Hov, because he knew that nobody could compete with him on his speed and quality balance. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That doesn't make you the best MC. That makes you the best recording artist. Like, you're the best at recording the music, which is a feat. Don't get it twisted. You deserve props for that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if time is money, well, you are the champ.
It's true. And I'm sure that's how he looked at it. KC1 says it was...
When you're a champ, Mike, whatever you're the champ at is how you look at it. You look like, man, my time is money and I'm better and faster than all these niggas.
Boom. KC1 says it was written in Illmatic over Ready to Die and Life After Death. Nas would still be the GOAT if Big was still alive. Probably the better writer. But I think that the versatility...
Even the better writer from the jump. He was going to be the better writer. Right.
This is what I will say about this. What Nas is doing right now, I don't think any of us ever predicted, right?
No.
So if we're counting...
And I don't want to hear one of his fans ever say differently. Don't tell me that you expected this run.
So if we're counting what has transpired over the past, 4 years or so, then I get that. But if we're talking about everything from the beginning to probably 2010-ish or whatever, and Biggie stays on that pace.
We go up to Life is Good. Let's go from Illmatic to Life is Good.
Yeah. And let's just say Biggie, hypothetically lives and keeps up a certain pace that he was on. I'm sorry. I gotta go with Big on that one overall. I mean, even if we look at what Big left us in 2 albums, the man could do a verses right now with just what he did in that 3-year pocket. He got 20 joints to go right now, heavy ones.
Hold on. Here's how cold he is. I will let somebody else pick 20 Biggie joints, and I walk in against anybody else feeling comfortable. Anybody, you can let somebody else pick. It's like that.
It is like that.
It is like that.
Mr. Miller says Drake leaned on his weakest skill set, singing, on this album, which made it a recipe for disaster. He has one lane that works for him. He wants to be more versatile, but his skills are limiting him.
Hold on. Leonard Washington is pulling my card. He said if you're reading this too late was 7 years ago. So I'd like to apologize. It's been a 6.5-year run.
Okay, well, let's get to that comment, because that was a super chat as well. They're saying it would be an unfair.
6.5 years. I'm sorry for saying 8. It's been 6.5.
All right, so let's rewind, right? So I don't think anybody's playing anything for Certified Lover Boy anymore, right? That was last year.
No. Way Too Sexy is still getting some run, but I think we all know why.
That's Future.
In the A, that's Future.
That's Future. You know what? Look, let's not count on the songs that he leaned on Future and Young Thug for. We can't count those. If you are running rap and you the king of rap, or he
was running rap.
Well, this is the narrative. If you're able to actually eliminate the rap genre, then you should be running rap, right?
Very probably.
But if that's the case, like you said, where's the evidence of you on a solo tip on some rap songs? I don't want to hear about Tootsie Slide. I don't want to hear about God's Plan. Those are singing records. Respectfully. They cool if that's what you into, but if we talking about some rap shit, come on, man. We got to give at least even Kendrick, from a mainstream perspective, let's give him props. He went out there and rapped. He could have easily went out there and sang too. He rapped. J. Cole's out here rapping, man. So we're going to sit here and disrespect, because these are his peers. And I'm naming him. I ain't even talking about Benny. I ain't talking about Conway. I ain't even talking about Ransom and all that stuff that's going on. Let's talk about the people that they always group with him. Cole and Kendrick are out here rapping at a high level. And y'all want to sit here and talk about this dance album of elevator music is going to eliminate the genre? Don't disrespect Kendrick and Cole and the rest of hip-hop like that. Come on, man.
Do you understand that I'm afraid of Cole right now as an MC? There hasn't been too many times in the last 10 years
Mm-hmm.
where you should be worried about an MC getting on a song with you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Be very
like,
afraid.
Putting him on a song right now, that's a problem for you.
Super
It's a
Chats is
problem for you.
going crazy.
Hold on. And I
Go
feel
ahead.
partly responsible because of this damn show and the fact that I'm from North Carolina and some of the comments I mean, Mike, I'll be sitting up sometimes, I'll be listening to him rap and I'll be like, I'm pretty certain he ain't rapped like this before.
Well, you know what? Before I get to the Super Chat.
I know we have a following in North Carolina. I know about Fayetteville and Greensboro. I'm from Charlotte. I'd be like, man, this nigga done got a hold of me talking this shit. I done pissed this dude off some. He knows I'm from the same home state.
Well, you know what?
It's all bad. Like, it's all bad for dudes that want to get on a song for him. Ain't nobody afraid of Drake like that. I'm afraid for niggas to get on a song with J. Cole right now. He might embarrass you on your record, nigga.
Well, you know what? That reminds me to another point I wanted to get to on this show. My fiance says that we owe her and all the J. Cole fans an apology.
We do.
Because, you know, you guys probably don't know, but this is some of our earlier shows or whatever. And we were talking down on Cole's ability to make an album in relation to Kendrick and saying that he wasn't living up to his skill set. These are some things that we said, what was that, maybe like a year and a half or so ago now? But yeah, she says, I owe him an apology, and she said, you too, but especially me. And yes, Dana, I apologize. J. Cole is rapping his ass off, and, you know, it is what it is.
You've been disrespectful to the point that it's made me worry about coming home at times. But I've been disrespectful as well, and your fiance is right. Yeah, we've been fucking up. I really don't know how else to explain it.
007 with the Super Chat says, I'm a Nas guy. I didn't predict this run. I hoped for it. And now that we have it, I'm shocked. We need something from Jay, and we have a conversation to have a conversation. Rakim ain't do this. Mad Max with the Super Chat says, Scary Hours was a good tape. Laughing my ass off, and we still spin that Certified Lover Boy. Pipe Down still gets played. Champagne Poetry still gets played. Come on now. Okay, y'all still rocking with Certified Lover Boy? Now the other project you talking about, I did like D4L, but once again, Future and Thug. Marquez Davis with the $20 Super Chat, we appreciate that. He says, Jay got the no writing thing from Biggie. Jay took a lot from Big, but he's still great.
No, that's
Last
not,
point, Big was going to retire by 2000. He was going to do a triple album, and then he was going to be done.
No, that's not true. The triple album fulfills the 6th album contractual obligation to Puff into Bad Boy era stuff. He wasn't done. He was going to be done with Bad Boy era stuff after the triple.
Now, according to Gene Deal, who's bodyguarded Bad Boy Records, he said that Big told him, because he's seen the books, you know, like I said, according to Gene Deal.
He didn't have enough money. He wasn't going to have enough money to retire after those.
He said Big was going to leave, and he was getting offers from major labels to distribute himself, Junior Mafia, Kim, all that stuff. So yeah, maybe that triple album, that probably would have been, like you said, getting him out of Bad Boy. You know what that reminds me of again? Jay-Z's retirement. His retirement was about leaving, you know, the Rockefeller as we knew it, and now moving on to what we know as, you know, Rock Nation and everything else.
Nation.
So maybe that's what the quote-unquote retirement for Big would have been like, too.
Oh, is that what we call a retirement? That's what that is?
Transitioning, you know. No longer Notorious B.I.G., more so Frank White.
Yeah. Or
Frank Wizzle. Free with the Super Chat says, Mr. Morale came out 2 weeks ago, and it's gone. Chill. Wow. DJ Bruce Almighty says, people confuse music with the music business. Dude was never the best. You know what? I agree with that. But the narrative is that he is, because you're talking about somebody that they're saying that he could eliminate rap. The fact that people are even saying that gives you the notion that he is the best rapper in the game, right?
Let's hold on. Let's unpack something that was kind of dangerous, and we need to kind of go ahead and correct that. The cool thing about Big and J meeting is that they actually both used to write their rhymes in their head before they met each other. And so the meeting it's been told various times, I believe by Clark Kent, that in the studio,
producer of Brooklyn Finest, by the way,
producer of Brooklyn's Finest, DJ Clark Kent has produced other stuff as well. This pretty epic in hip hop. Yeah, it's a great producer, important hip hop producer,
legendary.
Yes, he said, I believe the story gets told that Big kind of like had a pad that was like in the studio and gave Jay like the pad to write something down, like, you know what I mean? Like, you ready? Because Big been hearing about Jay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they went to school together. He probably knew him.
Right.
Too.
He already know what's going on. He know what Jay sound like. And so Jay, they say push like the paper back, and it's like, no, like I don't need it. It's like I don't need it either. That's how it really went. I believe that's how it got told.
Well, I mean, that's the story I've always heard too. Again,
right?
Consistent stories. Remember, it's crazy.
Well, here's the thing about it. So DJ Premier gives more credence to that when he's breaking down how Unbelievable happened. Yeah. They're at D&D Studios, and so he says like Big shows up, and studio shit, cuts the beat on. It's playing the beat, they roll up, you know what I'm saying? Whoop-de-whoop, or whatever. He's like, Big goes into the other room, some girls show up. Big's getting some dome in the other room, Mike. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Preem comes out, because it's been like 3 or 4 hours they've been in the studio. The Unbelievable beats just been playing for 3 or 4 hours, Mike. Unbelievable tracks just playing for like 3 or 4 hours. Big's like asking Preem, like, you want some of this? Like, you want some of these girls? And Preem's like, no, like, what's up with the track, nigga? And the nigga's like, oh, it's done. Like,
yeah, he was waiting to see him write it. And
like while all this is going on, like while they smoking, talking, the girls are showing up. No, Big's writing. And then like he gets done and he goes and does Unbelievable. Live from Beth to Stuyvesant, son, the livest one. Representing BK to the fullest. Gets a pull it.
Yo, that's amazing.
Right.
Man Now with the super chat says Drake runs is biting styles from different genres. Yeah, I mean, that's what people are saying, allegedly. Nas the GOAT says Drake is a better singer than he is a rapper, in my opinion. KD says Drake and Kendrick underperform, left the lane wide open for Cole to take top shotter spot. It's going to be interesting if he can seize the moment. I agree with you. Because at this point, it sounds like, just from his features and everything that he's doing leading up to it, this is the time for Cole. Between that, we don't want to talk about that three-headed monster, or as they call it, just those three guys that they propelled to the highest of that generation. This looks like it's Cole's time. I don't know if Kendrick, quote-unquote, underperformed.
Crazy? Isn't that crazy for how this gets played?
It is crazy.
If you go listen to the industry right now, we're going to talk about this. Well, he's had the least impact in terms of how the industry sounds.
Yeah.
But who's the best MC right now?
It's Cole. Mad Max with the super chat.
What is this? This is a hip hop, right?
This is hip hop. And you know what? I want to make that clear too. This rap shit's not going anywhere. And it ain't gonna be no Drake. It ain't gonna be. It don't matter who it is. And whatever you make, niggas is still gonna be rapping out here. I don't know where this notion comes from where people think that he can eliminate rap music from the mainstream shit. Rap music hasn't been mainstream for a minute now.
This is how this happens is because you don't put the people who are rapping their ass up where they belong.
Yeah.
What I'm saying. So like when
you listen to these B-dot lists and stuff like that,
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, I'm throwing a shot. Yeah, you listen to the B-dot lists and stuff like that. If you look at lists like that, then you could think that.
A lot of people feel like I be overrating Conway the Machine. No, I don't. I have him rated properly as an MC. Y'all got the game fucked up. Right.
That nigga raps.
Like, because at the end of the day, it's about what? Like in this form of hip-hop, the 5 elements, the rapper does what? He raps, he MCs.
Yeah. And that ain't gonna change.
Be who MCing better.
Mad Max with the super chat says, K-Dot did a lot of singing on this whack album. Kendrick ain't performed to the level where he ain't Drake separated Certified Lover Boy is greater than Mr. Morale. and they're both whack. Listen, I'll put it this way.
The writing is just so superior on this.
Exactly. Regardless if you feeling Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers like that, you can't sit there and listen to the writing on stuff like, Mama Soba and Auntie's Diaries. And I mean, you just can't and sit there and say it's on the same level or Drake shit's better. I mean, you can't. And even if you want to talk about on a single level, like Silent Hill is a dope record.
Better than everything on Certified Lover Boy except Way Too Sexy.
I like it better than Way Too Sexy. But, it's just my opinion because...
The ATL in me is just not going to...
Way Too Sexy... Again, I can't give...
Sexy.
This is my problem with Way Too Sexy and D4L.
Way Too Sexy is Way Too Sexy.
No,
that might be
records that I love. Mm-hmm. But these are future records, man. I can't give him credit for these records. I'm sorry, I can't.
No, that's why I said it's the Atlanta in me that says Way Too Sexy is better.
Once again, soaking up sound.
Because I don't look at it like a Drake record.
Exactly, because it's not.
Like, we be down here. We know what time it is.
It's
we know
not
what
a Drake record.
Like, we know who's really making these records.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, whether we like Mr. Morale or N95 or not, at least Kendrick went out here and did his own thing and got creative and took risk. At least I'll give him that.
No, he did. He didn't do a good job, but
Yeah, I'll put that over somebody who's just soaking up sounds. I'm sorry. I mean, I've heard this stuff before. I think that's what we were talking about when we even reviewed Certified Lover Boy, was the fact that the features were basically the star on each song that they were on.
Yes.
Blue Collar Hustle.
Hold on, how about this? Here's what I mean. How can Drake run hip-hop when every time we talk about Drake, understand when we have an MC conversation, like when we do this Nas and Jay thing, do you know how deep it goes? That's where the whole literary devices, endless conversation comes from that right there. Yeah. That's what happens when you have real caliber MCs. It brings out the fire in people of them wanting to make the point. It's like, well, Coop, you're not listening to Jay's literary devices. Or, well, Coop, how can you unfold the scroll on verbal intercourse? You get what I'm saying? It get deep. Don't nobody take Drake that deep as an MC. So how can he alter the course of rap where nobody even takes him deep enough to get into the discourse of having MC conversations and battles? Because like I said, if you feel like Conway the Machine is overrated and you think Drake has the potential to run rap, go put them in a room together right now.
I think the proof is in the pudding.
You tell me what's about to happen.
I think the proof's in the pudding. People don't look at Drake in that fashion because they don't even care the fact that he had ghostwriters.
Smoke that.
Blue Collar Hustler says 100% predicted Nas's run. The man made Life Is Good. Nobody predicted this. Respectfully, Blue Collar Hustler. Come on.
First of all, that's a damn lie. Okay.
No one predicted Magic.
Nobody. You can't predict Magic or KD too. I don't care what you.
Now KD won. Okay, I give you that.
KD won. Yes, you can predict that maybe. But KD 2
and Magic. But KD 2 and Magic in the same year at that level. That's unpredictable, as Biggie would say.
And I'm tired of people running around here acting like Life Is Good is some sort of classic hip hop record that gets played all the time. It's not. It's a really dope album. It's not a classic.
It's a dope album in context.
It's a dope album.
Yeah.
I'm with you on Life Is Good, Mike. Life Is Good is really good. It's a really dope album. I
go back to, Cherry Wine.
I love Cherry Wine. Stay.
Yeah, Stay.
I love Stay.
It's got some joy.
Stay and Cherry Wine are probably my two favorites. The Dawn.
I didn't really love The Dawn. What's the other song?
I like his energy on there. You don't usually get that energy out of him. And then the whole Salah, Heavy D gave this beat for Salah for me to rap to. Heavy D had just died, dude. Yeah. It's just one of those,
I love the mood of the whole album. You know what I mean? Like, now I could see that.
Right.
People are into the whole mood of the album. I'm with that. Melvin Wright.
My daughter is at the age now that he was when he was going through those things going on with daughters. So it's like I remember that record now because now my daughter's 15.
Our daughter's a brilliant record too.
Yeah, that's a brilliant moment. That's one of those hip hop grown men moments. It's brilliant. So it's not to say it doesn't have its moment. It's not a classic. And I'm gonna give you an example of why it's not a classic. Locomotive, Mike. People be talking about Locomotive. Like Locomotive is like some sort of greatest hits Nas record. It's like, no, it's not. It's a dope record with Nas rapping on it, Large Professor did the beat,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "For my trapped in the '90s niggas on it," and he trapped you niggas when he said it. It's not like that.
Right. I like back
lyrically,
when.
lyrically, everything on King's Disease 2 and Magic is supreme to Locomotive. Like everything, as in every single fucking bar.
Melvin Wright with the super chat says, I highly doubt Nas would have made any of the albums in between I Am and Life is Good had Big lived.
Wow. Here we go with this Locomotive is fire shit.
Darren Harris says, Pusha T, Nas, The Game, J. Cole is a big four right now. They are consistent rotation for me right now. I think that's a really good big four. Pusha T, Nas, The Game, J. Cole. I would throw Conway in there too, but that's just me. Maybe Benny a little bit too. Got to give Benny some love because Benny did come through with the Tana Talk 4. LP with the super chat says, can't nobody tell me they wasn't worried about KD1 after the track list dropped and the previous two albums of Nas being Nasir and and the Lost Tapes too. It was worrisome.
Sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. No, they're right. No ID produced Locomotive. That's Large Pro talking on the track.
Okay.
I don't give a damn. The evidence is the same. It's not enough evidence.
I like what LP
You see how people
said.
be trying to create the evidence? It's like, well, really, Coop, No ID produced the track. Oh, so we like grading it differently? No, it's just not like that. It's a dope record. Stop talking about it like the shit is Silent Murder or Taking in Blood. It's not.
Well, I agree with what LP said. You can't say when you saw the track list for KD1 right after we're coming off Lost Tapes 2 and Nasir and say you're not nervous. Especially with the features that were on there. Like, what's this going to sound like? And I wasn't sold on Hit Boy producing for Nas.
Do you remember when you shot me the lineup for King's Disease? And I was like, I don't know about this, Mike. I was like, I'm worried. I was like, I am worried right now. I was like, he's doing. I was like, who's on? I said, how's he about to do a record with A$AP Ferg?
Yeah.
I was Big Sean. I was like, who? I was like Anderson .Paak. So I was like, what? I said, who? I said, Charlie Wilson. I said, this is very problematic. Remember I said, this is very problematic.
007 with the super chat says, literary device time, Coop. Think about it before you respond. I argue to high hell with my buddies because they drink the Drake juice. Big Sean, pound for pound, is a better rapper than Drake. Think skill set.
Yes, correct.
I think where Big Sean lacks, and obviously if we're talking about word for word, yes, there you go. I think the voice is what holds Big Sean back in that comparison particularly.
If he actually had Drake's voice or could even sing a little bit, he actually would have been the biggest star in rap at some point in the last 10 years. Like the biggest star at some point. Yeah.
What was the, because I know they kind of go, I mean, I know it's not official, maybe I'm speculating, they kind of go back and forth every now and then. And it's like whenever they get on a track together, one of them gives like some of their best performances. And I think it started with that, shut the fuck up. I got way too much on my mental. He closed that man's album out. He closed out Drake's album. Little bit.
Blessings is a great record. You know, that's probably that's their best collaboration in my opinion.
Yeah. LP with the super chat says their reference tracks. Conversation over. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, I know a lot of people want to make excuses for Drake, whatever, and there's always been conversations and talks in the air about who has ghostwriters, this, that, and the third. There's reference tracks on him. So it's like there's no argument after you got reference tracks. Sorry.
No.
It's just not. I mean,
just real quick, we got to go back to one of our first super chats and address the whole Jizza Raekwon thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I would be fighting. Okay, this is nothing against Ray or Ghost, but this is like what, 94, 95? Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to hear the Jizza and Nas too, kind of. You feel what I'm saying? Yep. Like lyrically speaking. And so I believe the record, because it got sent to me too, and I believe it was investigative reports.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right.
Damn.
So, right.
But we got what we got.
We got verbal intercourse.
I can't complain about that.
Thing too. No, but hold on. Here's another thing too, because if I'm not mistaken, Purple Tape starts getting recorded late '94. Because Heaven and Hell says 94, taking niggas to war.
Yeah.
So I feel like Heaven and Hell might be the first song.
I can hear that. Yep.
I can hear that too. Sound-wise too. Mm-hmm. Quality-wise, I can hear that too.
Yep.
So, now keep in mind, the Purple Tape is going to be out July 7th, 1995. Liquid Swords is like November 7th, 1995.
Great memory.
Yeah. This evidence right here that I'm providing you, well, if you are a fan of RZA, this motherfucker made these albums at the same time?
It's amazing.
Nigga. It's like, amazing. Just the fact that this is a conversation, that was the part that got stuck on me. I was like, hold on. I was like, nigga, you over here making Liquid Swords and the Purple Tape
How does at the
that
same
happen? Time? Like, what are... Woo! Like, I don't know.
One of the greatest feats in hip-hop history.
No, Mike, that's the... Hold on. If he really, like... That's the greatest feat in hip-hop history by a producer.
I don't have anything to refute that.
You over here making Liquid Swords and over here making the Purple Tape. No, nigga, you got it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Max
I like
to
apologize for everything I said. You can have it all for right there. You can have it all right there. How about that?
Mad Max of the Super Chat says, My Sober and Auntie's Diary sound like whisper rap. How writing matters when I can hear your verse. When I can't hear your verse. How does writing matter when I can't hear your verse? Laughing my ass off. Silent Hill was whack. 7 a.m. To Bridal Clears. Y'all gonna make me go back and listen to Certified Lover Boy. I wasn't impressed by any of it.
Don't do that to yourself.
Okay. You know what I'm gonna go back and listen to too? 444. And we're gonna get on that topic in a minute too. I think there's some other super chats I'm missing. The chat's going crazy right now. I'm trying to catch up with everybody. Mad Max again. He said Big Sean is better than Drake, skill set wise. Drake stole Big Sean's whole rap style. Big Sean is at his best going bar for bar with peak Kendrick. You know what? I will give Big Sean this. Big Sean got style, flow. This is who Big Sean is to his generation. And, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm out of line. I kind of correlate him to Ludacris in a sense, rap-wise.
I think that's a very astute observation.
I think Luda's a much better hit maker, obviously. But if we talk about like stylistically and just, just having a crazy flow and having punchlines and not really having too much serious content, they both have serious content, but not really being known for that. I think that's the correlation. I think Luda has a much better rap voice, but,
I think he's a much better rapper.
I mean, me too.
But... And I'm not being regionally biased. That's no disrespect to Sean. I just feel that way about Luda. Here's what I will say. One of the most poignant things that Kanye said in that Drink Champs interview was about how Big Sean's first single went. With the whole ass, and make that motherfucker go stupid. You know what I mean? He kind of... it happens fast when you pigeonhole yourself. Like, I'm going to keep on saying this. If you go look at the greatest MCs of all time, go listen to their first few singles. Just go listen to them. It's all on some rap shit.
Well, in the words of the late, great Pimp C, if you're going to be a cartoon character on your first album, you're a cartoon character on your last album.
Right. And so Kanye was kind of speaking to that. And so all I'm saying is it like... Do you remember what Scarface's first single was?
It was A Minute to Pray, a Second to Die.
Correct. If I'm not mistaken, no, that was the second single. I believe Mr. Scarface Back was actually the first single.
Okay.
You listen to the records we talking about? You want to go down this Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, Ready to Die hole? Like you want to go? It ain't hard to tell. The World Is Yours. Dead Presidents too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, timing makes a lot of difference.
No, that's not timing. It's like you're doing some rap shit to solidify yourself, or you're not, though.
No, I'm just saying,
the thing about it. No, because listen to what I'm about to say. When you're all-time great, you can just do some rap shit for your first single. You don't have to fit into a category.
Well, yeah, I get you that.
You don't have to fit into a space. You don't have to fit into a time. You don't have to fit into anything. You know what you have to do?
Rap.
Go be great. Yep.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. And so that's where he homogenized himself. We could never see how great he could be or who he was because he homogenized himself from the jump. And that's what Ye was really saying.
Well, let me play devil's advocate here. You remember the BET cipher? It was a good music cipher.
Yes.
And the newcomers were him and Sci-Hi.
Yep.
Sci-Hi had the rap skills. And so, and Sean had the gimmicky single. Look who got the push. So, I think that during that time period, and I love, me, I love Kanye and everything, but see, I don't feel like, maybe I don't know all the particulars. I don't feel like Sci-Hi's Black History Project in particular got the proper push that it could have gotten from somebody as big as Kanye West. Like, if Kanye West just tweets out this Black History Project, it would have gotten all the attention that it needed to get, and I think Sci-Hi would have got a lot of the adulation that he needed to get. Now, the only other part that I guess makes it somewhat of an excuse for that is Sci-Hi was doing a lot of writing for him. And so maybe it was about like, yo, I got to keep my ghostwriter, as opposed to him going out there being a star. I don't know.
I'm glad you said it, so I didn't have to.
So,
But I'm going to keep my great ghostwriter. I'm going to keep my great ghostwriter. Big Sean can't ghostwrite for me like this.
Yeah.
Right.
LP with Super Chat says Big Sean and, is it Kwame? With all those polka dots. Yeah. Kwame with a K, not a Q. That's what threw me off. Stop it. Shout out to Kwame, man. That's the homie, man. He's been on the show. I love Kwame. It's my guy.
Mike has a relationship with Kwame, and Kwame's been cool and good to helping build out according to hip hop before we ever popped up on YouTube.
All kind of knowledge, man. Like I think we need to do a part 2 of our conversation that we had that I had with Kwame. It's like, he was kind of breaking down the game on how producers get paid and how things have changed, what it was, what it's gonna be. Very knowledgeable person. I mean, when you were walking around high school your junior year with like 4 different major label contracts in your backpack, you know the game.
Your interview with him is my favorite interview that you've done.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things too, man. When I knew that I was going to be talking to him, an artist like Kwame, with so much stuff out there that's about the polka dots and Biggie's line and stuff, doing the research for that was, not as easy as it would have been, otherwise. Like, I know his music and I'm a fan of it in that way. But a lot of the questions that I had lined up didn't go like I thought they were going to go, and it just flowed. And a lot of that I, attribute to him and just how conversational he was. He was the one that kind of guided the interview to where it was going. I mean, I picked up on some things, but I wanted to ask him about him writing that verse for Poison with Belle Biv DeVoe. Mm-hmm. And, but see, I didn't know how to ask it because, I didn't know if maybe it was a contractual thing where he wasn't supposed to say this, that, and the third. But we got to talking about ghostwriting, and I got it out of him without even asking. So
here's how big Biggie was in culture, and this is what I mean about influence. This type of influence Drake doesn't have that Biggie even used to have. Like, when he's on Unbelievable and he makes that line about Kwame, you literally don't hear from Kwame for a while because Biggie saying that hurt his credibility. And I'm going to tell you how serious it was. Do you remember on Life After Death when I Got a Story to Tell? Mm-hmm. He's like, and she tripping, disappearing like Arsenio. When he said that, I was like, this nigga's never coming back. That's how serious it was if Big says something about you. That's what his weight was. It's like when he said disappearing like Arsenio, and I was like, and he's not coming back either.
I thought you were going to go to John Starks.
No.
And the thing is, man, all these years, we all thought, John Stark, because I think he's like one of them 6'4" niggas or 6'6" niggas or something he said.
He's like one of them 6, right?
Yeah, something like that. And so most people assume that, right? And I think he got on one of those ESPN shows. I forgot what it was. Y'all might know in the chat. And John Stark said the song wasn't about him. And I think Fat Joe interviewed with someone on ESPN as well. And he said that the song was about Charles Oakley. And at this time, Charles Oakley had passed. And it's like,
You mean Anthony Mason?
Anthony Mason, not Charles Oakley. Sorry. No, Charles Oakley is alive and well. I'm sitting here thinking about the forwards. Thank you for that correction. Charles Oakley will come over here and beat my ass. He in Atlanta and everything.
No. No. I was actually about to say, you want a sidebar right quick and have our
Charles
sports
Oakley looks
for
good
today?
too, by the way.
Hold on. First of all, I think I'm the only black man walking around on this earth that's like under 6'5" that has had 2 run-ins with Charles Oakley and has lived to tell about it. I've talked shit to Charles Oakley twice in my life. I'm still alive, Mike. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. Don't ever be like Coop and talk shit to Charles Oakley. But Mike, my first encounter, can I tell you right quick? Do you want to hear a quick story?
Let me get to the super chat and then tell the quick story.
You'll want to hear this because you're kind of tied to it. You were around at the time.
I want to hear this. KD says a huge problem with Big Sean has he kept a few super corny bars in his verse. I guess he keeps a couple corny bars in his verse. His whole rap style is fabulous, but with way less clever and way more corny. Let's see. Andre Shashir. Shout out to Andre Shashir. He says, Big Sean doesn't have a good rap voice. Well, simple as that, right? Miss LB says, I've heard it all today. Drake has a better voice than Big Sean. Drake's voice is so annoying, in my opinion. He does. You know, I'm kind of with Miss LB. His voice isn't that great either, but we know that his voice actually works.
It's versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a versatile voice.
Mad Max says, Sean is wrote for Kanye. Laughing my ass off. Sean wrote Ye's Blessings verse. Sean reminds me of Fab and Mace, just more geeky and doesn't have their voice. I guess y'all are all on the same page with the Fab thing. Okay, go ahead. Tell the Charles Oakley story.
No, it's Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason at the same time.
Oh, they were both there. Okay.
So, Mike, first of all, when I went to high school, I'm from Atlanta, raised in Atlanta, but born in Charlotte. I went back to junior high school in Charlotte. All right?
Right.
So, Anthony Mason is at the airport one day while I'm in high school. My girlfriend at the time in high school is at the airport. She's like, Anthony Mason's total pedophile. He just tried to hit on me. I'm fucking 17 years old.
Oh,
all right. So that's my first run-in with Anthony Mason, is actually tried to hit on my girlfriend in high school when we were 17 years old. This is a true story. I'm not making this shit up. I see this dude. Guess the next time I see this dude, Mike, I see this guy in the showroom at Dave & Buster's one day. And so Anthony Mason walks in, and I used to live not too far from the Charlotte Hornets arena. Anthony Mason walks in. This motherfucker's massive, all right?
Huge.
And he's huge. Then Charles Oakley walks in right behind him, Mike. I'm not making this shit up, okay? These motherfuckers killed 3 bottles of Don Julio in about 2.5 hours. They killed the whole supply in the showroom bar. These niggas tried to drink another bottle. I told these niggas no. These niggas thought the answer was yeah. This is how serious the shit is. You want to know how off the chain Anthony Mason is? Charles Oakley had to save my ass from Anthony Mason because Anthony Mason was about to reach behind the bar and jack my ass up when I told this nigga no. Because you know how I think everybody know how I am. I don't give a fuck how big you are. I'm telling you no with the straight. No, mother, like, no. I'm like, and these niggas was faded too. I was like, no, this motherfucker reached, Mike. And that's when I realized how big Charles Oakley was, because his drunk ass swooped in so quick and grabbed Anthony Mason and was able to hold him off of my ass. This is a true story. All right?
Charles Oakley saved your life.
Right. This is a true story. So you want to flash forward to many, many years later, taking care of Michael Jordan at a private event. Guess who shows up?
Charles Oakley, of course.
Charles Oakley shows up. Now, keep in mind.
That's the homie.
Listen to me. Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley are having a conversation. They're calling me the little nigga the whole time. It's the only time in my life I've been okay being called little nigga, because the niggas calling me little nigga are literally so massive.
They're giants.
They're giants. Charles Oakley, this is no joke. Michael Jordan has like a $5,000 tab. I hand Mike the tab. Mike looks at me and says, give that shit to Oakley. I'm like,
yes, sir.
Mike, Charles Oakley is about to get in his limo outside. I go outside. I hand Charles Oakley the tab. First of all, his company was like, don't trust this nigga. She talking big shit to me, Mike. He looks at me and he says, you that little nigga from Dave & Buster's. And unrolls a wad of cash and throws it in and just walks away.
He has a good memory, even when
He
they
has a
fucked
great
up.
memory. Basketball players have a great memory. Michael Jordan showed up at the bar 2 weeks later and said, Coop, do you know what I like to drink? I said, yes, I do. I said, Grey Goose on the rocks with 3 limes. They remember everything. The ball players, they remember everything. You remember that sequence where LeBron is running down the whole playoff sequence for about 2 minutes straight?
Yep.
No, that's live.
Yep.
I've dealt with these guys. That's live. Their memories are like that. Like, them niggas remember me. And I don't mean in a good way.
LeBron has an incredible basketball mind. I think
No,
that's one of
all
those things.
genius basketball players do. That's what I'm saying. Oakley remember me as like a 10-year gap. He was like, you that little nigga from Dave and Buster's pointed down on me drunk as fuck while he was doing his Charles Oakley. When Charles Oakley pointed down on you, you know what you do? You shut the fuck up, Mike.
LP says, Coop about to get thrown to the floor like Jazzy Jeff.
No, it's going to be worse than that. It's going to be worse than that.
About to get flown like Jazzy Jeff.
Sports story. We done. I got all types of stories like that.